Hello, everyone. My name is Carmen Miranda, but I go by Carm, and I'm currently pursuing a degree in communication studies. Today, I will be analyzing the music video I chose and using Global Goal 16 along with three key terms from chapters 3 and 4. So, the video I chose is titled This is America by Childish Gambino, and it was actually released back in 2018. So, in the beginning of this video, it starts with some music and a man playing a guitar, but then suddenly gets shot at 0.53 seconds. So, this is where the mood changes very quickly into something more serious, deadly, and overall, the video continues to repeat, This is America, and communicates a message about the reality of what we're seeing today and what America represents. It shows that the American system is broken and justice is just not equal for everyone. This video connects with Global Goal 16 because it shows how violence, discrimination, and injustice has affected society, how disconnected we are from reality, and how desensitized people are becoming. So, this video highlights particularly Target 16.1, which focuses on reducing violence and death rates, but it also highlights in Target 16.3, which emphasizes the importance on protecting rights and achieving justice, especially in a system that's unequal. So, understanding stereotypes. A stereotype is generally a broad perception assigned to a specific groups or individuals, Floyd 67. And the textbook explained that, according to a psychologist, the brain can evaluate how trustworthy someone's face looks even before meeting them because of the stereotypical judgment. And that's found on page 68. And unfortunately, this can lead to perceptions that are inaccurate about an individual or a group. A moment in the video that connects to stereotypes is more towards the end. So when we see a black man running away with the look of fear in his eyes, something that I've noticed was the part where he says, no, that's probably in life to a dog for a big dog at 3 minutes and 53 seconds to 3 minutes and 56 seconds. And this moment in particular shows how stereotypes work because it reflects how people view minorities as less valuable. It shows how society often judges people of color based on biased opinions instead of seeing them as an individual. The second term I chose is hate speech. So, hate speech is a type of language or communication that attacks, degrades, or intimidates people just based on their race, nationality, or identity. But it could also encourage violence by making certain groups seem less humans. And this term is on page 108. This type of language is especially dangerous because it could spread quickly online and it could influence real world behavior. So, for example, Floyd mentioned that the website HN became known for hosting hateful posts, so including content that targets immigrants. And the textbook continues to explain that this kind of anti immigrant hate content was posted shortly after a 2019 shooting that happened on Texas. So, this shows how hate speech can normalize racist ideas and make hateful behavior feel acceptable in society. At a minute and 56 seconds in this video, a shooting occurs in a church, a space that's meant for us to feel safe, and it highlights how violence disrupted this event and how normalized it was. So, this moment connects to hate speech, which targets and dehumanizes certain groups, fostering an environment of fear and potential violence, even on spaces that we're supposed to be feeling protected. The third term I selected is perception. So, perception refers to our impression and assessments of others based on the information that's currently available to us. And this was discussed on page 63. So, research in the textbook indicates that in certain content, our perceptions of others can be quite accurate. So, for instance, the book uses an example of speed dating. And despite the brief interaction and limited information about each person or participant, studies revealed that we still form evaluations that can surprisingly reflect reality. And this example, you could find it on page 62. So a specific moment in the video that shows perception, it's around 0.56 seconds to a minute and 10 seconds. So in this part, we see a lot going on in the background, like dancing, loud music, people moving around. It's very chaotic. So even though the dancing stands out the most, if you really pay attention, there's actually chaos and violence happening behind them. And this shows how perception works because it's easy to just focus what grabs our attention the first time. And we pretty much miss what's really happening. Sometimes when one thing stands out the most, we only process that part and don't fully notice the bigger message or the bigger picture that's happening. This activity enhanced my understanding of how stereotypes, hate speech, perceptions relates to peace and justice. Stereotypes can lead to an unfair judgment and incite violence, while perception often overlooks the deeper issues. Awareness of biases is crucial to combat hate speech and injustice. So, in order to support Global Goal 16, I would advocate for challenging these specific stereotypes and encouraging critical reflections as perceptions influence the normalization of violence and discrimination.